Alright, this is my video on how to do a bicolored granny square, and this is assuming that you know how to do a regular granny square, because I'm going to go really fast with my extra stitches because I've tried a couple of times to get this in 10 minutes and I'm just heading right over the line there. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do a bicolored granny square. First, you make your slip knot and you chain 3 or 4, whichever you prefer. 4, and we're going to chain in, or we're going to do a slip knot in the first one after the knot, or your third or fourth from the hook, however you like to say it. We're going to do our chain 3. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap my tail around so I can work over it and I don't have anything to work in. We're going to do our first cluster, so there's second, or our first double crochet, second double crochet. And I've tried to figure out how to do this. I usually put 3 chains in each corner because I like room. That was how I was always taught. And it doesn't work to do the bicolored granny. You have to have either 1 or 2. I prefer 2 because I like I said, I like more room. And we're going to do our second cluster of white. So there's our first double crochet, second double crochet, and third. Alright, we're to the first color change, so we're going to chain 1, and I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pick up my pink here, and I'm going to tug on my working yarn. I'm just going to leave this working yarn here, and we're going to ignore it for a while, and that is my second, or when I added this in, I'm counting that as my second chain. And then I'm going to go ahead and just continue to do my next 2 clusters of 3 in the ring. So I'll try to be quick and get that in because I want to show a couple of rounds so you can see that real well. So I've got my first cluster and I've got 1, 2 chain at my corner, and my second cluster. Alright, and now instead of cutting and tying off, I'm going to chain 1, and my second chain will be in the form of a slip stitch to the first one. So I've actually got 2 spaces there, and I am going to turn it. I'm going to lay this over the back of my work. You see that? And I'm going to slip stitch in, pull up a loop, and that's going to be 1, 2, 3 chains, and I'm going to finish off that cluster there. You only want 1 cluster in this. We're not going to chain 2 and do another one, because when we come around the edge again to this side, we're going to put another white one in that corner. So do only 1 cluster when you change colors. Then we're going to do a corner in our corner. So we're going to 1, 2, 3. So there's our first cluster in the corner. Chain 2. Okay, so we've got our corner there, 2 clusters, and our space. And chain 1, and we are going to come over here to our space here with our first join, and we're going to go ahead and work another cluster of pink in there. Alright, now do 1 more chain, and my second chain for this, we're going to pick up our white working yarn again. Oops, leave this one just to be all by itself. We're going to pick up our white, push that out of the way. We're going to do the second chain with our white, and we're going to yarn over and continue This is our first double crochet, and that yarn hides right next to that first double crochet, so you will never see it. It makes it a little bit fatter, but really if somebody's looking at your work that closely, I guess they deserve to find something. There's our first one, and there is our corner. So you've got one pink and one white, and I will continue around, and I will do my corner in a corner. So 2 and 3, 2 chain, and our second cluster in the corner. So there's our second corner there, chain, and now we're back to our original, or not our original, our corner with the pink in it. And we're only going to do one white cluster, which means of course 3 double crochet in there, in that corner. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to slip stitch in that top chain. That makes my second chain, and I have either got a 2 round bicolor granny square, or I'm ready to turn my work again. Lay your working thread over, and we're going to again slip stitch in that hole, pull up a loop, or excuse me, slip stitch in the hole, pull up a loop and through for your, and then we're going to chain 2, and we're only doing again one cluster in this corner because you'll need it for your contrasting color once you come around again. Okay, and I'll go ahead and quickly do a chain 1 and then the cluster in this hole, chain 1, and I'm doing my corner in a corner. Okay, so I've got my second corner there, cluster, chain 2, cluster, and chain 1, work a cluster in this hole, okay, now we're back to the corner where we've still got our working yarn, and we're going to do one cluster here, and a chain 1, only one, because when we pick up our pink working yarn, we are going to make the second chain. So we're going to go ahead and pull it through, and then yarn over, and go ahead and go back through there, finish making our first double crochet, second, third, and here we've got our white working yarn in the background there, and we'll go ahead and finish working this side. One of the things I really like about doing this method is, number one, I don't have a gazillion ends to weave in. I hate weaving in ends, and I will avoid it at any cost. So I sat here and I figured out how to do it, because there are not, I've caught one other video online about how to do a bicolored granny, and it was from quite a distance, and it wasn't up close, and it was so close, it was so fast that I didn't really get the idea of what she was doing. The other one here on YouTube is very helpful. It helped me a lot. Okay, now we've come back around to that first square, or I mean that first cluster here, and I'm going to chain or go into that. We're going to join it, and if you wish, you can continue around, and that is really all there is to it. And you're done.